morning. Thank you all for your patience this morning. We're here to give you a briefing on an officer-involved shooting that happened in the early morning hours. This incident actually began last night at 10:26 p.m. Austin police officers attempted to make a traffic stop in the 6400 block of South IH-35. The vehicle that they attempted to stop at that time evaded, and we did not engage in a pursuit at that time. The officers began conducting research on the vehicle, the license plate, in an attempt to identify the registered owner so we could conduct an investigation on who may have evaded. Through that work and through the investigation trying to identify the owner of that vehicle, we ultimately received a phone call back into our communications center at 11:51 p.m. from an individual who appeared to be one of the registered owners, concerned that we were contacting them about the vehicle being involved in a pursuit and wanting to make sure that it was in fact a police officer that was calling them. Through this conversation, which took place for quite a while with our dispatch center, we were getting information on who may be in the vehicle, and we ultimately got information that the family had received a text from their son that he had crashed the vehicle in the 7500 block of East William Cannon here behind us. Officers began searching this area to locate the vehicle, and in fact at 1:40 a.m. a patrol supervisor located a vehicle that had been involved in an apparent crash into this field behind us. The vehicle is actually a different vehicle than the one that we had stopped the night before, or attempted to stop at 10:26. But the officer arrived and located that vehicle. Again, he arrived at 1:40. At 1:41, the officer puts out an officer needs assistance, stating that the subject in the vehicle had a gun. At 1:42, he indicates that he had one at gunpoint and that the individual at that time was holding the gun to his head. At 1:43, we had EMS en route, given the nature of this call, and at 1:45, the sergeant noted that he was still trying to talk the subject down, trying to calm him down. At 1:46, a second officer arrives on scene and is equipped with a ballistic shield, and they begin to put their plan together. And at 1:47, it's reported over the radio that shots have been fired. EMS was staged at the area and entered a short time later to render medical assistance. The individual was transported to the scene. The individual was transported to South Austin Hospital at 2:04 a.m. for treatment of gunshot wounds, and at 3:27, the individual was pronounced deceased. We do not have a positive identification at this time. However, based on conversations and based on information we have, we believe that he will be a 27-year-old Hispanic male, but again, that is unconfirmed at this time, but based on the information that we have. The entire incident was captured on body-worn camera as well as the in-car camera system, since the officers that responded pulled up directly behind the incident. I can tell you from having watched the videos, there is an obvious attempt by that initial responding sergeant during those several minutes when he was talking with this individual to de-escalate, to calm the situation, to tell the subject to put the weapon down, and that things didn't have to end this way. There was a lot of work done to try and de-escalate the situation, but what is evident is in that final moment that the individual gets up. He was in a position on the ground. He gets up, raises both hands in a manner as if there was a weapon in the hand, and points in the direction of the officers, at which point two officers fired their weapons. These officers are both on the department for 1 year and 9 months. They're out of the same class, and as is our standard practice, both officers will be placed on administrative duty while we conduct the multiple investigations that are ongoing. As you can see with me here today, we've got the District Attorney, Margaret Moore, we have the Austin Police Monitor, Farrah Muskinen, and the Assistant City Manager, Ray Ariano, along with multiple members of the Austin Police Department staff and our city legal. There is an administrative investigation that is being conducted by the Austin Police Department's Internal Affairs Division with oversight from the Office of Police Oversight. There is an investigation also by the Travis County District Attorney's Office in conjunction with the Police Department Special Investigations Unit into this matter as well. And at this point, I will open it up for any questions.
What was the traffic stop for?
I don't have the information on what that initial stop was for last night.
Was there exchange of gunfire?
That is unknown at this time. What I can confirm is that our officers did fire, 2 officers, their weapons, and I can also confirm that we have located a weapon on the scene here in close proximity to where the vehicle is located.
Is that what officers were looking for when they were searching with flashlights through the vehicle? Were they looking for other weapons, or?
I don't know what the officers were searching for, what you may have seen earlier at that time.
Do we know the suspects or the victim's connection to the second vehicle?
No, what we'll look at now, obviously, when we made contact with the registered owner of that first vehicle, that is somehow going to be connected to this second vehicle. Whether it's going to be the same family that owns both vehicles or not will be part of this investigation.
Now, does the man that ended up here, does he live here, or he just ended up in this area? Do we know if he's from this area?
We don't have any reason to believe that he has a residence behind us or in this neighborhood, but again, that's unknown at this time.
Obviously, yesterday's shooting just happened, and I know you tweeted out saying that you were in peaceful fleeing. So when something like this happens, what comes to mind for you?
Well, again, this is a circumstance that no officer wants to find themselves in, and this is a circumstance no family wants to find themselves in. And our hearts at the police department go out to this man's family. He was obviously in some state of crisis to where he would do this tonight, and this is not a circumstance that the police department nor any officer wants to find themselves in. So, I feel very much for this family, and our hearts go out to them. And
Have we searched the vehicle? Have we found anything other than just that gun that the person
no,
had?
this is still a very active scene, and the investigation's ongoing.
Last question.
Should we expect another update later today? That way we know.
If there's more to report later today, then we will put out a notice to the media. But at this time, as you can imagine, we're going to be out here for several hours processing this scene. Thank you.